Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Juan Cristales here, man. And check this out. We're going to be talking about the rough-in inspections. For new construction, I think a lot of people don't know or really understand what that means. So we're going to go over what all that stuff means as far as passing or having the rough-in completed. Rough-in just basically refers at the stage of where we are in the new construction process. So let's go ahead and get into it here. So as you can see here, the structure is completely done. We are having to wait for the framing inspection. So the way this works is that your MEPs, which is your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, those inspections need to be completed along with the firewall inspection before the framing inspection gets done. And why? Why is that? Why is that an important thing to note? Whenever we're talking about the rough-in inspections, as you can see here, these are what's considered the stub outs, right? These are stubbed out to where there's going to be an island here in the kitchen, and that's where that's going to go. So the electrical rough means that these things are just put in. You have the refrigerator outlet there. You have all the wires for inside of the kitchen. You can see the plumbing, the white plumbing lines, the vents for the wastewater as they go down. And so, like for example, this is a good example here. Now, we have to have structural integrity on this particular wall based on the fact that we made all of these holes right here, right? So all of these holes basically weaken this little area right here. And because of that, they're putting the framing here, here, and so on. So what the inspector wants to ensure is that this area is not diminished structurally because of all these holes that we're having to do into the property, into the walls. All right, so let's keep moving along. And as you can see, the air conditioning rough is in. That's where all the vents are going to be going. You see all the pipes for the wastewater. This is the laundry room. This is going to be the vent, obviously, for the dryer. This is the wastewater for the washing machine right next to it. So this particular, you see how this is a different color, this wire here. And the reason that is because this is going to be for the dryer, right? Like we just said. And because the dryer is going to be a different, it's going to be it requires a heavier, stronger, thicker electrical wire. So this is stuff for the electrician, the master electrician, to know all this stuff. Okay, you don't necessarily have to know this stuff, and I want to confuse you with the type or the numbers and any of that stuff because you have the city that's going to come in and inspect this stuff for you. Now you can be there, you're going to find out there's going to be the difference between a 110 and a 220. Obviously, the 220, the larger the number, the more voltage it can carry or the more electricity you can put through that wire. These ones that are going to be on the exterior walls as part of code is required for it to be insulated. And then all this green stuff here is going to be for the termite. I wanted to show you this little area. You see all this daylight that is coming through. So we're not quite at that point yet, but we're going to have to fill all this in with something to keep all the bugs out. The purpose of some of this stuff, the green stuff that's on here, is called the Boracare system, is to prevent termite. They're not going to like this chemical stuff, so they're going to start chewing on it. They're not going to like it. They're going to go somewhere else. All the exterior walls have it, along with the wet areas. All right, so we started on the back end of this property. Now we're on the other side. I wanted to show you guys here, like just some of the stuff that's left over. We have to clean up our area to ensure that we have a smooth inspection cycle and that, the people don't feel like it's okay to just leave trash all over the place. So I'm telling you, and we try, as you can see on the inside, I just showed you the inside, it's pretty clean in there. But you have to be careful with this stuff, guys. I'm telling you, because contractors will do whatever you allow them to do, right? So we have to stay on top of them to ensure that our area stays clean and that we don't have a bunch of stuff all over the place because it's just messy, and then it's just that kind of environment breeds, in my opinion, it breeds other people to allow them to be messy and just leave a bunch of stuff and do sloppy work. So I'm always on top of the contractors to ensure that they clean up after themselves, to ensure that our area is kept clean. And I am a big proponent of ensuring that all of our job sites are run efficiently, but more importantly, man, that it stays organized and clean. It's a lot easier to see some of the issues if there's nothing on the ground versus there's being tons of like pieces of wood left over on the ground, pieces of electrical stuff left on the ground, pieces of air conditioning stuff left all over the place. So always, 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 guys, always either have someone that can be backup to go clean all their stuff. The majority, the bulk item of the stuff that these contractors leave, they do pick up after themselves, but there's always going to be something that you have to go in or send somebody in to go clean up. All right, guys, that's all I got for you on this particular update here. We should be passing the air conditioning inspector if we haven't passed it already, and then the next is going to be the framing inspection. We got the firewall inspection, and then we have the insulation inspection, and then we'll be ready for drywall. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.